Hi guys, Mr. Jaeger here, and welcome to the second day of our Invictus week. Oh my god. Is that what I think it is? So, today is Aegis Day, and this is why I like doing blind recordings. Sometimes I get a bit into a mess because sometimes when I'm doing recordings I fumble and I talk too much and do whatever. But then there are moments like this where I am sitting, mind of my own, and I see a fucking Redeemer in front of me. What the Christ? Oh my god. Okay, so yes, for those who've not watched yesterday's episode, I highly advise you watch it because there's a bunch of continuity and whatever that, oh my Jesus Lord, that we're going to be talking about. But primarily, I'm going to have to do my best to try and wile this up. So basically what we're going to be doing is each day, I'm going to be looking at a variety of ships. And today is Aegis Day, the big awesome fans of ships, the guys who've made stuff for the Messers regime and are now in the process of making even different kind of ships in this stuff, and there's all fancy pants stuff, but oh my god, that's a fucking Redeemer. Sorry, I honestly thought I'd see that in the, oh my fucking dear lord. So yes, I'm very much excited to see that in the background. Oh my god. Anyway. So, yes. Oh, fucking hell yes. This is going to be awesome. So, today's Aegis. Aegis, brief history, used to be the main ship designers for, used to be the main designers for the Mesa regime before they were overthrown. That's when Anvil got the contract for most UEE naval ships. So they've turned over most of their stuff to the civilian market. However, most of their military kit is still being utilized by various companies and corporations, and to a degree the UEE Navy as well, just in much smaller supplies. So, without further ado, let's get started. Fuck it. I'm looking at this thing. Holy ballsack. This is incredible. So this is the Redeemer. This is the latest innovation to come out of the Citizen group. Oh my god. That's incredible. We can get in. So this is the ginormous fucking gunship, which is hopefully going to be coming out in the near future. And judging by the fact that we can get into the damn thing, holy hell. I mean, I've seen, you may have recalled in previous Star Citizen, in a CitizenCon and in Invictus of last year, we actually saw a bunch of holodecks, and I was expecting to see this in holodeck form. But seriously, holy crap. This is incredible. As you can tell, the design schematics, as you can tell by the design, she is a VTOL-capable gunship, is what she's officially designated as. And it's not exactly hard to see why. Holy Christ. This is the first time for me. I remember seeing a glimpse of this in, I see. Is it, can we? Or can we not? Or is it one of those cock teasers? Okay. Whoops. Oh, whoops. I must have picked up my own... Yeah. Yeah, no. Can we not get in? No way. Don't be doing this, Aegis. You let us in. Yeah, there's a thing here. Maybe if I back away from it. Do we have to back away from it? Oh, don't you son of a bitch. I think this is all we can see of it. That is disappointing. Oh, you motherfuckers. So you can show it on display, but you can't let us take a look inside. Motherfuckers. Well, okay. Holy shit, though. That is incredible. I'm not going to lie. I am genuinely in awe of this. Hang on, can I sneak a little look-see? Do what we did last time. So stupid. But yeah, this thing is freaking massive. It's basically meant to transport a number of troops into combat zones. Effectively, if you have to compare it to an in-game ship, in terms of troop transportation capacity, maybe a Prowler. Maybe. In terms of, it transporting troops. However, that's probably where the similarities end. Primarily because then afterwards, it's just the raw firepower of this thing. You've got a remote turret at the front. You've got a man turret on the bottom. You've got another man turret up atop, and you've got guns on the side, all of which look absolutely menacing, at least size 3 and above. That one almost looks like a size fucking 4. And you've got size 2? Yeah, those have to be. Size 2 remote-controlled turret. So you have quite a lot of access to firepower in this particular ship. And as said, this is also VTOL capable, I would assume. So, yeah, no, this thing is absolutely ridiculous, and I love it. It looks really fucking awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this when you can actually get inside and fly it. Because you can't even rent it, can you? God, if you could rent this thing. Oh. But no, so finishing off with that, let's go over to the other ship, which of course is the Tally, which you can get into, and you can rent. So the Retaliator is an interesting ship because it started its life out this as a bomber, and this is the bomber variant, but this won't be the first version of the ship that you'll have access to. This is basically the, as I said, this is the bomber variant of the ship. So if we get access to this elevator, we should be able to get into it. So the Tally is originally, it's going to have like a cargo capacity or transporter edition, which will allow players to have a much more variety in terms of choices. It's not the most, it's spacious is the best way I could describe it, ships. But the unique thing about the Tally in this configuration is it has up to 6 size 9 torpedoes. Which is nice, without a shadow of a doubt. It is nice. It has multiple gunners stations. It has multiple, as you can see here. It was either 6 or 9. I always forget, but I believe it was 6 because they are size 9s. So yeah, no, there is quite a lot of things. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comment section down below. Whenever I talk about various ships, there's always something about these things I get inevitably wrong. So by all means, correct me in the comment section down below if I am wrong. Multiple manned gunner points, limited firepower, isn't really tankable. Like, if she gets spotted, she will die fairly quickly, if left unsupported. But you can do quite a bit of, you can utilize her quite nicely. And as I said, she's quite a cheap. There you go, there's one of the gunner slots as our dear friend is displaying for us with the absolute horrible sense of color armor. Have a good time in there. There's also an upstairs gunner's seat option, as well as the crew decking and quarters. As said, this ship's spacing is to a minimum. Like, there is very, very little space, which is... There we go. So yeah, spacing in the ship is at a premium, to say the least. So it's a good ship though, and it's currently, I think, the only ship flyable with the torp power that it has, which is really nice. So I'm looking forward, of course, to more ships being able to utilize higher levels of firepower, but at the same time, I am also acutely aware that that would also make it more expensive, thus, for anyone to get it. So, fair enough. We'll be having a crack at you later on. So, these, of course, actually we should probably go to the other side, because that one is effectively the same, but kind of worse. So that basically, well, we'll glance over to that one because that's basically the same thing, but this one is probably the best way to describe it because it is a very good ship. So the ship we're coming over to now is the Sabre. This is a single-seat, I would say medium fighter. You could say it was heavy, but I'd say medium fighter. It's difficult to kind of class it because the way that it's because with how in my limited experience, I'm not a PvP pilot, so I can't really say what you could classify as heavy versus medium versus whatever accurately enough to say, yep, nope, that's fine, brilliant, that's the one that indicates heavy, or that's the one that indicates light, whatever. But what I can say is that, judging from the profile, the kind of weapons you have, it's definitely more along those lines. And the Sabre is a really good fighter. It's more for hit and run tactics, mind you. It's engine power giving you the abilities to do a medium amount before having to bug out. But what I can say is that this ship is hella fun to fly. Like in the time that I've rented this ship out and flown it in limited aspects, it has been a hell of a lot of fun. Until the X-Wing showed up, I was really keen on adding this to my collection, but ever since the X-Wing, this has definitely taken a bit of a lower hit. Obviously also, you know, life stuff. But no, she is a very suave, very sexy looking ship. Not really a heavy hitter in the terms of front line, like she cannot last much longer. But the main intention of this ship is you're meant to go in, blow the living shit out of everything, and then get out of it before you get really shot back at. So yeah, good, and also good. And if you know what you're doing with piloting, this ship is very, very good for that. So big thumbs up for that. So the ship on the other side is, well, the Saber on the other side is the Saber Comet edition, which is basically the same ship, only fitted out with stealth modules. That's a really good reflection. Oh, now I know that probably is because it's placed there, but what the fuck? No. No fucking way. You seeing this? Sorry, there's a person walking in the background that was reflected on the window. That's not... Holy fucking shit. Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. Sorry, I'm a sucker for the small things. Anyway, so going back over to this thing, the Comet, Saber Comet edition is just a glorified stealth ship, but it's been equipped with some of the worst weapons you can have. These, shit, it's a shotgun. Shotguns in space suck, no questions. These, low energy laser weapons, probably designed more to neutralize shields. Again, not really good. The main reason for this particular ship is probably more for the skin and its you know, for that. But apart from that, no. You might as well just... Because the thing is, you'll have to buy the ship and then re-equip all the other things to it. So the skin doesn't really add too much for combat statistics. So anyway, yeah, that's... With that, the Saber's just not worth it. That Saber's not worth it, in my opinion. It's a very nice looking Saber, I won't lie, but it's still shit. So, before we wrap up the main haul, let's have a look at the giant gun in the room, or multiple guns in the room. This, of course, being the Aegis Dynamics Hammerhead. This little gunboat, and I say little, it's still freaking massive in my eye, is if you could have to ask me, as if you're a new Star Citizen player, and you were asking about multi-crew, you sort of said, oh, what would you say is the best example of that? I would say the Hammerhead is the best example of multi-crewing. While it doesn't have all of the intricacies of power management, engine systems and all that, it does entail the more fun side of multi-crewing, that being shitloads of guns and multiple friends to use them with. As you can see, all of these turrets, of which there are 6, are quad-mounted with size 3 weapons, which of course you can swap out and do whatever. The preferred PvP approach is to equip all of these with Gatling guns, because obviously, you know, Gatling guns, 4 of them equals dead thing that gets hit by it. So yeah, it's quite a decent display. And better still, the traverse of these guns is immensely, it's immense. It's like literally you can go, the guns go further out and extend, giving you much more fields of fire. Which is very, very nice. I like this ship. I don't think I'll ever own one, but I like it. At least I'll never own one with real money. It depends. If someone's very kind enough and decides to buy one for me, I'll accept it with open arms. But at the same time, I don't think I'm ever going to really put the money towards it myself. So these are the kind of ships that you really want to use to obviously hold down certain areas, maybe provide escort. If you're an older Star Citizen player or know the lore, you'll no doubt recall the actual player fights that happened around a place known as Jump Town. I never really went to Jump Town. I think at that point it was before I really started committing to this game. But I did hear about people going to Jump Town, and these kind of ships were quite invaluable to those players. A brief history on Jump Town was that it was a particular drug den, which you could go to the location, which would have drugs made available there, and then you could go to the place, open it up, grab the drugs, go find a place to sell them, and you'd get a lot of money for it. And various clans and players would fly around, blowing them each other up, trying to secure and hold on to the place, whilst they would be murking around. And so, if anyone had, and I think at the time the Hammerhead was a relatively new ship, or if not brand new, but I think it was relatively soon after it was introduced. It was it was one of the ships that basically was the heavy hitters of that group. So while it could be nuked, it was definitely a heavy hitter for sure. It has the ability to transport some limited stuff. Like I think you can get maybe an Ursa rover into here, but not that much. I mean, the thing is, it's not really something you'd want to operate as a mainstay. But if you had to like transport something, then you could, it's kind of nice. So. What was kind of cool, so was kind of awesome. Also, I'll take the ladders because it's much faster. Is it has multiple layers to it as well, multiple levels to it as well, which is neat. It also does have the option of being having its own engineering station, but until advanced functionality, it's not really going to be seen too much. And again, it's narrow, it's very. If you've watched. If you're going to be watching / if you watched the the Hammerhead or the Javelin video, you'll no doubt have seen how similar in terms of design this is to, well, the similarities in terms of military design this has to the Javelin. It's more just because it's got the inertial dampers or whatever. It's got inertial dampers, but these paddings are in case you get hit on the side and you get blasted to the bits, or if inertial dampers fail and the people have to go flying about. I like it. I like this design. It's weird. I like this circular motion to it. It looks cool. And obviously there's the maintenance hatch. Again, I think this is like it in its sort of powered down, made safe for people kind of deal. So all in all, it's a very nice looking ship. I like it. Again, I don't think I'll ever own one, but I like it. Because the issue with this, of course, is that like with other ships, you can kind of work with it. You can kind of use it and have fun with it. But, unlike some other ships where you can maybe sort of do it all on your own, this ship is completely useless if you don't have at least 2 or 3 friends. Which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, let's make our way to the one reason why I love this ship, or I like this ship a lot, which is, of course, the Captain's Bridge, which I gotta try and remember where the damn thing is. How is that the bridge? Oh, because no, I was going the wrong way. Still get lost here sometimes. There we go, the bridge. So. The main reason why I love this ship's design, or at least one of the reasons why I like this ship's design to a small extent, god damn it, is this bit right here. The bridge is sort of like the one from Halo Wars, where you can walk on the top of it. Like, it's a really trippy feeling when you're standing here and you see a planet below you. To me, that's just like, whoa! But yeah, no, being brutally honest, I don't think I'll ever own one, but I think this is the one reason why I like this ship a bit. Like a fair amount. So, more ships like this, please. Make a ship like this, like an actual full-on bridge, being a big thing like that. It probably has no practical reasons at all for being complete glass. But if you can make like an observation deck with reinforced glass, then yeah, I would love it. Because there's nothing more trippy than having that as an experience. Just because it just would be like, oh. But can you imagine having the kind of vertigo? Jesus Christ. Like, you would shit yourself royally. Just, try not to commit so much towards your nether regions. So, as we make our way out of the main hall, we go to the left to find ourselves in a room filled with vanguards. That's right, the famous Vanguard series. One of the ships which, when I first started playing Star Citizen, I fell in love with and was so desperate to have. And I actually did have these for a small time period. However, as my time and experience grew, I grew to actually find that this ship, these ship series, while they were great, did cause some problems, at least in the terms of flying around with them. But at least they're definitely a ship worth having. If you enjoy heavy fighters with the ability to really go in there, then I cannot I cannot recommend something even more. Like, this is a definitely good one. But then I discovered the Gladiator and, you know, history from here. But anyway, what are these ships? What the hell are you talking about, Mr. Jaeger? Well, let's talk about... Well, these things are basically a series of ships with a variety of different roles. Some of them being more for troop transport, some of them for stopping enemies from getting away, and some just fucking shit up. So let's start with my favorite one, well, the one I actually owned, which I would say is the basic bitch starter, and then everything else kind of works around it, which is, of course, this one, the Aegis Vanguard Warden. This is basically a heavy reconnaissance, or heavy fighter / reconnaissance with a size 4 Gatling gun on a gimbal. So you could have a size 5 fixed if you want. It's got size 2 multi-laser cannon. So if you run out on the Gatling gun, you have got spare lasers. It's got 4 size 3 missiles, which is very, very nice. Has a nice rear access. Well, I haven't been in these in yonks. And it's got a few amenities, nothing too special. It's got a crew of 2. You have the pilot seats at the front and a turret access, which has size 2, 2 size 2s in the middle, which is cool. Weapons rack is towards the back, as you can see. So storage room, little storage tab, and more often than not, weapons rack. But you know, we'll just pop this back because I don't want to open the door that's already open. I want to close it. There you go. As said, long range missions are the main focus of this ship. So you've got the avionics access there. There is the engineer station, which I'm sure at some point, if you're doing reconnaissance, probably also acts as a means to go for stuff. Oh, here's the weapons app. Here's the weapons rack. There you go. So when it comes to the ship, you've got some limited forms of weapons to utilize. You've got your famous indemnities and abilities to like survive for a few days, and of course the very important shit shower, which if you want to know where the shitter is, there it is. So all good long range fighters need to have a shit shower in order to I probably should keep it open so that if ever players come in going, so nice little mirror, that doesn't work. But no, it's not a bad ship. It's a nice. I can't really go too crazy on it, but yeah, it's a nice ship. It sounds really stupid because obviously it is a nice ship, but it's like it's weird. It's like an X that you have those times. You've had the enjoyment, but like my biggest problem with this ship was that it made things way too easy when I was playing through. Bearing in mind, I'm not a PvPer. So when it came to most things, I ended up just flying this ship around like 100% of the time when I had this ship. So it's got a good field of view though, not gonna lie. Your MFDs are all in front of you, which is very good, unlike some other ships where it's kind of all spread out. The MFDs are all located in your first peripheral vision, which in my opinion is a good thing. It's one of the big things about a ship that you have to keep an eye out for, because if you have to constantly look around to see all of your MFDs, that could be a problem if you're not running around with a track IR system, because not everyone has track IR or has the patience for a track IR. Also, there's your quantum drive up there. So having the MFDs in one location is a very good thing. But no, I just found when I was flying around with this particular ship, I used it way too much. And it meant that all the other ships I had in my hangar were just getting dust. So when I finally decided I wanted to upgrade from this, which I then went from this to the Carrack, I found that I was enjoying my other vessels a lot more. So on the perk side, and to be fair, this was just a particular thing with me. But no, as a heavy long-range fighter, this is a damn good ship. And it'll see you through a lot of crap, no doubts about that. We're going to save the other ship for last. That ship we'll get to, but that one's my current favourite, which is weird. But anyway, we're going on to the other ship, which I kind of feel in comparison to what it once was. I feel that what it once was, in comparison to what it is right now, I kind of feel it's a bit of a waste of space. Or not, a bit of a lost cause now. Whatever, I'd say useless. I'm going to say useless and piss off people, but hey-ho. So this is the Vanguard Hoplite. This one has a slightly different loadout. Still size 4. Or was that size? No, size 3, sorry. Yeah, size 4 mount, size 3 gun. There we go. So, size 3 gun, size 2 ballistic cannons now, so there is a chance you can run it completely out of ammunition. No missiles on this one, though, underneath. So, no missiles on the wingtips. But instead, this particular ship is designed to transport a complement of infantry. About, I'd say, a full squad size worth. So, not really that impressive, in my opinion. Still size of crew for 2. So, you know, two pilots. 2 pilots and about, 6 guys. So a squad size, basically, with limited, with weapons racks and all. So if you were taking if you were like taking into heavy combat, maybe, and you were expecting to get into a bit of a heavy war zone, maybe. But we've used this in combat, and well, the limited times we've used it is to basically showcasing it. We've used it once or twice, and yeah, it does work, but in comparison to other vessels which have much more troop capacity, are probably easier to fly in and also aren't as fat as this thing, because this thing is fat, and the benefits it gives in comparison to other ships who can transport more troops is not that great. So yeah, and we'll get into the turret for this one just so you guys can see. So this thing pops down, you pop into it, you pop out of it, and there you go. So, depending on what edition you've got, you do get access to a variety of different self-defense turrets, but it's basically 2 size 2s. So, I'm always terrible with sizes in this game, so my apologies if I get the wrong sizes for the different things. But there you go. So the Hoplite is, in my opinion, kind of the worst edition, to a degree. Like, even though the Vanguard is the cheapest, so the Warden is the cheapest, the Hoplite is probably the worst edition, because it doesn't really offer you much, in terms of, like, heaviness. It's just an extra transport ship, and there are much better transport ships out there, so, again, I feel sorry for it, but, yeah, no. It's a ship that I don't really like, because I feel that it's just a fatter, slower, has maybe slightly more armor, perhaps, but it's a fatter, slower Vanguard, which, in an environment where you need to be quick and fast, yeah, no. So going on to the next edition. Now this, I mean, it's fatter and slower. You definitely feel if you flew the Warden and then you flew this particular ship, then yeah, you would feel the difference. This, of course, is the Harbinger. Or for a long time, I kept trying to call it Hellbringer because I was sad and I kept just mispronouncing the name Harbinger. So, yeah, size 3 Dakar with size 2. Well, I believe those are even size 3s. Are those size 3s or size 2s? I think I'm going to say size 2s. Size 2 quad ballistic Dakar. These things are slow firing but heavy hitting. Missiles, size 3 missiles underneath. But the unique thing about this vessel is, and this was the vessel that I originally absolutely desperately wanted, because it had troop compartment, it had munitions depot, but it also had size 5 torpedoes. Yeah, 3 of them. 3 size 5 torpedoes, which is mental. And bearing in mind, this is a heavy sort of shielded atmosphere ship as well. So you could fly around, you know, maybe sluggishly or whatever, because obviously it's a fat ship. But the amount of, like, firepower that this thing could wield, and it was, oh, fucking five torpedoes. Oh! You know, losing our shit about it. And then I discovered the Anvil Gladiator, which we'll be seeing when Anvil Day comes along. But, yeah, no, I sort of, once I got the Gladiator, I kind of immediately forgot about this ship. But not to sort of shit on it, but, yeah, again, it's a one-trick pony. I won't lie, it's a lot harder hitting, and I say hard hitting, it's hard, it can take more of a hit. That's the more accurate tone. It can take more of a hit. It can it definitely can make its mark on the battlefield. And if you like the concept of a heavy ship with heavy ordnance, this is definitely for you. But in my experience, after like a couple of goes at it, I knew it wasn't the ship for me, which is a shame, because it is a very nice looking ship. Like all of the Vanguard series look nice, but like some of them just don't really perform to the way I want them to. In all honesty, the ship that I enjoyed the most in terms of flight was the Vanguard. But then we come to what is probably my favorite of the group, and one that if I did decide to get a Vanguard, like if I absolutely went nuts and thought, I need a Vanguard in my life, this would be the one I would use. Now this one is the Vanguard Sentinel. Now this is the Law Enforcement Edition, hence the colouring of the ship. And as you can see, it's got some very nice energy weapons. We've got some attrition size 3 on the front, supported by extra lasers. We've got some size 3 missiles, which just looking absolutely lovely. And more importantly, it's got the best interior as well. Like seriously, look at this interior. Oh, it's like dark theme with like red paint. Oh, so good. But the other reason why this is a really good addition of the ship is because this ship has an EMP inside it. So in Star Citizen, some ships, mainly in the sense of law enforcement, and there are a number of internal components that you can see and have access to and open, which is really cool. Just close it down so we don't have all these things exposed. You can also find by the way, you can also find your panel inside radar in here, which normally there should be a little thing here, but unfortunately because it's not available yet, it's below the stairs, so it's not really visible. But one of the things that you can actually utilize, and I think this is it, and this is the cooling. No, this is the coolers. But one of the things that you have access to in this ship is an EMP field generator. Now, similar to the QED system we saw in our previous episode, it basically generates a spherical orb, which basically neuters enemy ship systems and results in them either losing their shields, not performing as quickly, or just being sitting ducks for you to come along and plop them out the sky. And as such, this ship has gained quite a reputation as being the best PvP ship inside the Vanguard fleet. And I don't blame them. I mean, when it comes stock with an attrition and a bunch of other lasers for the front, as well as some size 3 missiles, I'm probably going to find that those are size 2 now, but fuck it. And of course, nice, and a manned turret at the top, so if you've got a friend who likes to shoot shit but doesn't like to fly, it's really fucking nice. But no, it's an absolute... this one, in my particular opinion, is the best of the series. And if I was more into PvP and I was really determined to get into it but have a good ship for it, this would definitely be the one to get that for. It's a hard-hitting, highly mobile, highly effective, and can use the EMP generator. All in all, a fantastic ship, which makes anyone who's up against you really having to play careful, because, I mean, anyone can die. I mean, the thing is, just because you've got a ship that is all singing or dancing doesn't mean you have to just stop playing properly. You can still die very quickly in these ships, but in comparison to many other ships that are less well-armoured, well-protected, and have their own, and don't have their own EMP generator, you have a good, an extra good innings at least. So, as we make our way out of the Vanguard series, we now go into the series of ships, one of which is a series that you absolutely must have one of, and I'll be specifying that one, as a ship that any new player must have to get the best starter experience for Star Citizen. And then, of course, there's two other types of ship, which are, while not essential, can have very different ways of play, which makes them all the more exciting. But first of all, let's talk about the ship, which I'm going to keep singing the praises out of, and I think is something that needs to be played by every new Star Citizen player to get the best introduction to this game. I am, of course, talking about the Vanguard. This is the Vanguard. No, the Aegis Avenger Titan. Now, sadly, this is the Titan Renegade Edition, which is the slightly snazzed up weapons. So this one has autocannons where its laser should be, and snazzier missiles, size 2 missiles, where other more normal size 2 missiles are. So, what is this ship? Why am I nuts about it? Why did I talk about the Aurora in the previous episode being a good starter, but really you need the Titan Avenger? What is so special about this ship? Well, I can list about 4 to 5 things, one of them being personal preference, but 4 definite new things that a newer player will appreciate. The first big thing is the ship's actual design template. As you can see, it looks like a plane, and that, to anyone who's maybe more familiar with flight sim games or are used to flying normal planes, will be no doubt gratified to utilize, which, you know, is a big plus for some people who are new to space sims. Second is weapons familiarity. So as you can see, the weapons located at the front, which is a size 3 Gatling gun with a size 3 gimbal, and these weapons, which are also size 2 but sadly are autocannons, and of course the missiles. Normally, on the regular Titan Avenger, this weapon would still be here, the Gatling gun, but instead of an autocannon, this would be a laser repeater, which gives the player the ability to not only experience combat from a sort of safe avenue, because, you know, multiple weapons on the ship, but they also get the safety of having weapons that fire more powerful weapons but do have limited ammo, and weapons that keep firing even if the main weapon has run out, because no one's going to tell the new player if they don't ask how to refill their weapon stocks or how to refill the ammo. They'll just run out of ammo. And then finally, they'll get the ability to learn how to use missiles, which are these more likely the case for the size 2s. Or are these size 1s? These look like size 1s, but they might be size 2s. They probably are size 2s, knowing my luck. But, you know, they are size 2s. So, yeah, so basically the player gets the ability, for the second point, to being able to experience all three methods of combat when it comes to flying in Star Citizen. So it gives them a good, safe base to work off when it comes to that. The third thing, which I would say is an absolute dream, is this right here. As my friend is displaying how big it is. Thank you very much. This is your own cargo bay. Now, for most new Star Citizen players out there, going into combat is probably not the best of decisions to make, because as you're flying in, you don't really know how to fly, to be honest with you. You're not really sure how it all works, you're a little unsure of yourself, and the one thing you're probably not going to feel super confident about, if, you know, you're not really desperate to go into combat, is to go into combat. So, you know, this cargo bay allows newer players the ability to do more simple missions, like grabbing the black box, grabbing cargo, transporting it about, giving the player the ability to learn how to fly both in atmo and in space without the rigors of combat forcing them to do both, because the Consolidated Outlands Mustang series won't let them do any those kind of missions because, well, they have no cargo bay. And while the Aurora has the side access panel where you can kind of put something in there, it's not really where you're supposed to. So there's a chance the box may fuck around and fly out the ship if you're not careful. Whereas this is a dedicated cargo bay. You plonk something down, it'll stay there. So yeah, that's definitely a very useful option for a new player to have. And finally, the fourth option is the bed. Now, if you may have recalled seeing the previous episode, if you haven't, I'd suggest you watch it, but I talked about the fact that the bed is a really useful feature because newer players can get into the game, log out of the game, in the comfort of their own ship without having to feel obligated to go to the nearest station, making this a vastly useful practice, because they could be like 3/4 of the way through a journey and they have to go because they have to go out, or they have to go to bed, whatever that is. We gamers know nothing about sleep, and basically you can enjoy playing, enjoy going to logging out of your character in this environment, waking up in your ship and then flying on to other vast pastures. So another big plus. So there's a fifth one as well, in terms of pluses, but this is more my own personal enjoyment factor rather than it being a practical, objectionably good thing, which is despite the cockpit has a very good view. For new players out there, this is a very open, unobstructed view, which is great. Sadly, though, you don't have any of the downward view like the Aurora has, which is a point to the Aurora, not gonna lie. It may have many struts, but you can at least look down. But the thing that I would say is my own personal preference, as you can see with my movement, if you press and hold the F button and then use your movement keys, you can actually quick select some of the MFDs that are about you. This is a personal perk of mine, which is basically all of the MFDs are all relatively close up together, which is very useful if you want to try and get the information that you need. Sadly, though, you will need to look down You will have to force press the Z button to look down and specifically look at your MFD at the bottom. So if you want to put that to something that isn't as essential, like target status or whatever, that's fine. Put all of the essential MFDs on the top section where you can see them, and that gives you the ability to fly your ship with confidence without worrying about not being able to see stuff. So there is my 4 objectively perfect, objectively good, but the 5th being my own personal good, reasons why a Titan Avenger is the better choice for the best. Well, is the choice for the best starter ship in the game. It is more expensive. It, alongside the game package, it's like I think it's like the normal game package is about 40-ish quid, maybe 45, depending on what version you get of the thing. I think it's like 40-ish quid. And when I bought it, it was like 90 quid if you have the game package. But this ship is worth it, and of course you can upgrade. If you purchase the Aurora ship and you find it's a bit frustrating, whatever, you can next payday upgrade to the Avenger Titan without having to pay full price, which is a very fun thing. So I would immensely recommend this ship. It gives you everything you need for a new starter to be able to really experience what Star Citizen is like before making your pledge towards other vessels. So, of course, one more thing to note. The only other ship I would say which is in contention, and I think is around about the same price, is the Consolidated Outlands Nomad. But that ship has less maneuverability, less firepower, and is a little bit more difficult to fly or a little bit more funky to fly if you're not super experienced. But it does have a much bigger cargo capacity, so it balances itself out in another fashion. But anyway, so what exactly are all these other versions? Well, this one is the Avenger Stalker. Now this one is basically the bounty hunting edition. So the way that bounty hunting will work is initially you can either go around flying around killing your targets, or if you want more money, you can fly around, capture your targets, and then put them into these stasis pods, which once you've captured them, you pop them in and you watch them do the Han Solo holding its hands out method whilst they get, either frozen or knocked out, whilst you take them to the prison cells. So all in all, it's a nice way to provide the service of the people of the United Earth Empire, and also get yourself a little bit of pocket money as well. Very, very nice. Not really different at all. The different weapons, maybe a few different components, maybe more focusing on trying to capture your opponent rather than kill them, but still. So making your way across them to the other side of the arena, we will get to you, don't worry. We're going to be going to probably one of the most one of the most tricksy and devious bastard Titans out there, Avengers out there, because, well, this one does look a bit like a Titan, maybe with a different weapon scheme, because the normal Titan, Avenger Titan, has this skin to it. It's the white skin with a different kind of colouring. So you may find yourself being fooled, which is probably why it's doing it like that, because inside the back of this ship is not a cargo bay. It's a giant EMP device, and this thing is bigger in terms of power than the Vanguard Sentinel, meaning that if you do trip this thing off, oh boy, you are in for a treat, as basically most, if not all, of the places around you are going to go zip and get completely nuked. And in the future, maybe we might get more advanced targeting systems or more in-depth targeting systems which don't automatically tell you what ship you're looking at. So it may just, instead of registering its specific type of ship, you instead register that it's a Titan, an Avenger series. And because, it's flying the Titan colouring, you may think, oh, it's only a small little, starter ship. What am I going to have to worry about it? And then all of a sudden your entire fleet goes dark, and then a bunch of other ships come into it to blow you up. And you're like, well, fuck. So, yeah, hench, motherfucker, for damn sure. So, now that we've gotten the Avenger series out of the way, let's talk about the two combat ships with very different methods to fighting. So, this ship is the Aegis Gladius. This particular variant being the Gladius Valiant, which is basically an up-tiered version in terms of components and more in terms of weapons, more likely. So as you can see, it's a bunch of size 1 missiles on the side, I think a size 3 missile in the the inner wing, as well as a more photon-y laser at the front, and a size 2, perhaps 3, no, maybe there's a size 3 fixed. No, that's a size 2. I'm always figuring... No, it's a size 2. A size 2 fixed Panther repeater on that. So this ship I had for a limited amount of time. I enjoyed my time with it. It was definitely a nice looking ship. It's a light fighter though, definitely not really a one to take heavy fights, but it is capable of doing a lot of ducking, weaving and diving, and can deliver quite the crippling blow to an unwary opponent. Let's hop into this little ship. There you go. So one of the other cool things about this ship that's hopefully due to come out is that eventually you will be able to, we'll be seeing the new heads-up display for Star Citizen ships, of which this vessel is apparently going to be the first ship to utilize it, which is going to be very exciting. I am very much looking forward to seeing what this new UI is, because apparently eventually we're going to be able to see an actual compass relay on the top screen, which will be really dope. But in terms of visuals, it gives you a nice, decent display. Once again, similar to the Titan Avenger, lots of opening. The only slight difference is that you've got this little weird thing at the top, which is probably for help reinforce this canopy, as well as put it on, I think. But no, she looks good, she feels good. In the limited time that I had her, I had just a bog standard Gladius. I had a lot of fun with it, but it wasn't like lots and lots of fun. Just a more of a, hey, I can duck and weave and dive. And then I promptly died because I wasn't really much of a PvPer. And this was up against AI. So I don't fly my planes like light fighters, but I mean, I'm sure if I really got into it, I'm pretty sure I'd find this vessel to be quite good, but it's not the kind of vessel for me. I liked it, but I didn't feel like I could keep it. It was not a ship I absolutely must keep. Don't worry, we'll be getting to those on Anvil Day. So the last vessel in our grouping is the Aegis Eclipse. The Aegis Eclipse is the stealth fighter. Like a bit of a no shit Sherlock moment, but it's the only real stealth fighter we have available in the game at the moment in time. You can customize your components and change your play style to also be stealthy, but this ship is actually dedicated to being a stealth fighter. Released a few years ago, well, actually quite a few years ago now. God, I feel old. This thing had made a pretty impressive impact, but unfortunately, as per usual, it's one of those ships. Well, as per usual, it's one of those ships that at the moment its uses are not as much, because at the moment most people tend to play more aggressively. But fairly soon, I reckon, once scanning and other things start coming into its own, these vessels will get their own love again. There's not really any kind of ships that are worth justifying blowing up with size 9 torpedoes, but we'll get to its armament in a second. Let's hop into its thing. So, in terms of flight, in terms of combat capacity, this thing is fun. Is a lot of fun. Yeah, like nice, the little joystick thing. So no, in terms of flying power, this thing is a lot of fun, but it is limited in what it can do. As you can see, because it's a stealth fighter, it's got all the Phantom Pants components, it's all trying to be as stealthy and as quiet and as effective. You've got all the little panels up top. I do like this. This is nice. Like, you can also have like all the little things that turns the whole ship off, and you're like making sure that you're not detected as much as possible. And as you can see by its display, and as you can see by the rest of its thing, it's sort of more designed for being undetected. Let's go to the back. So what are you trying to do with this particular thing? Well, I did sort of give the game away a bit, but yeah, you've got 3 size 9. Oh, is it? Oh, have I done an oopsie? Yes, I done an oopsie because I had the power off. It's closed the fucking. Hang on, let's quickly sort that out. I turned the power off, thinking I was being clever, and then it was like, no. How are you supposed to see the fucking torpedoes, you numbskull? Well done, Mr. Jaeger. Right. Hang on. Oh, we have to wait for the whole thing to set up. Okay. Right. Cool. At least now we can actually see the size 9 torpedoes. So if you actually wanted to see what a size 9 torpedo looked like, well, guess what? Here's what they look like. And they're pretty fucking hench. So yeah, you have 3 of these bad boys. So you and a flight of 2 or 3 have the capacity to easily destroy. It takes a bunch of size 9 torpedoes to knock out an 890 jump. So if you had a decent amount of these boys flying about, yeah, you'd fucking Royal Stroffel stomp them. It's lovely. But the issue with this particular ship is that once it's been detected, it has very little it can do to survive. You have only got a couple of size 2 Gatling guns for self-defense, and even then you're not that maneuverable. You are literally, you swoop in like a big wing, you pop your shots, and then you bugger off. because if you don't, you're fucked. But no, apart from that, this thing has had some nice usage. Probably not a good story to tell, but I actually recorded it. I might try and see if I can get that uploaded at some point. But I was in an Anvil Valkyrie with a bunch of friends, and we got attacked by someone in an Eclipse. They tried to blow us up, but they fluffed it up, which is where the whole skill factor comes into this game. They thought that by throwing size 9 torpedoes they could just kill us, but my gunners were damn good and they knocked it out, knocked the torpedoes out, and then with our combined might, an Anvil Valkyrie basically, yeah, like kind of like that, basically took out a fucking Eclipse. So my proudest air-to-air kill was an Aegis Eclipse, and I'll try and upload the video in relation to that, which is probably the funniest fucking thing ever. So yeah, I loved that moment. It was brilliant. And so we come to the last part of today's video, the holographic displays. Now for this Aegis Day there only seems to be two, one being a Nautilus and the other being the Vulcan. So we've got a nice big display. This is of course the Vulcan. So this Aegis Vulcan is, from what I can understand, it is a repair ship. Because as always, it's not just warfare that goes into dominates combat, but also logistics, which of course, or combat dominates warfare, but also logistics. There we go. So this is the Aegis Vulcan, and its main intention is to be able to provide quick repair services to damaged and battered ships inside the verse. I quite like it. It looks kind of funky. The problem is at the moment I don't think it has that much of a use, and depending on what time this particular ship decides to come out, it may be completely considered the guardian angel for saving, or it's going to be a ship that's just going to be sort of a prop more than anything. But I'm hoping it's the former, not the latter. There's like little side access panels for whatever needs to be, but no, it looks pretty good. I quite like the look of it, and I'm sure once it comes out into full form, we'll be able to see its effective use in terms of repair. I do like being a supported person though, so who knows, maybe that'll be for me. And as we make our way to the final area, of course, this is the Nautilus. This is, of course, the big new frigate class ship. Very small in comparison to its forebears, though a little bit more detail now, because we're getting to see more and more of the ship as it comes out. A couple of size 7 guns on the front, but the big selling point of this ship, of course, is not its guns, but more its mine-laying capacity. It can either lay a bunch of mines, which will fuck over an entire area, or it lays drones, which actively target onto various ships, giving whoever is flying in them a bad time. It's got a few self-defense turrets as well, like, you know, player man turrets, which gives the commander an ability to at least have some form of respite. And it does have VTOL engines, which I quite like. It's very small though. It's a small little ship, and I think it's about the same. I don't want to say specifics because there's a website which my friends and I have recently discovered, which is a really good way to compare the sizes. But I can't remember the exact size. I know it's smaller than the Polaris, and also smaller than the Perseus. Oh no, 30k! Son of a bitch! You know, that's my first 30k since playing this particular patch, so good on it for surviving. And, well, probably a good time to probably wrap things up. That was the first time I've actually gotten that. So credit to Star Citizen. You've not crashed that much, but this one is it. Well, guys, that about wraps it up. So, not too bad, considering it's the second day of, or second phase of our Invictus week, and considering the amount of stuff going off and the amount of players in the background, for a 30k to happen then, in my experience so far, that's not too bad. Obviously, your performance may vary, but still, pretty good nonetheless. So, I hope to catch you in the next session, where we'll be having a lot of more fun looking at all the shiny new toys that we get to have access to in our next part, as well as hopefully having a little bit look up in the stars. If you haven't seen that video already, I recommend you go check it out. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. This is Mr. Jaeger signing out. Have a good one. Really lovely fireworks they are.